This morning on Inside Kansas Politics, he was accused of Chinese espionage under a Trump-era crackdown on China. After losing his job and a long nightmare, his conviction was overturned. This morning, former KU professor Franklin Tao is speaking for the first time. From the Kansas State Capitol, this is Inside Kansas Politics. You're taking a look inside Kansas politics. Welcome in. I'm Rebecca Chung. A U.S. appeals court tossed Franklin Tao's conviction in July, and they said there was not enough evidence. And for the first time, we're hearing from Tao about what happened leading up to a years-long nightmare for him and his family. Franklin and his wife Hong are joining me now, and I wanted to start by saying we have reached out to KU. However, we have not heard back. We did give them a hard deadline. Silence on their end for now. I wanted to start by also just prefacing this. You were also a researcher at KU, Franklin. So how did you join the university, and what was that like for you on the job?
Thanks. So I earned my PhD from Princeton University in 2006. Following that, I conducted postdoctoral research at the University of Berkeley and the Lawrence Berkeley National Lab. In August 2010, I started my independent career as a tenure assistant professor, as a tenure track assistant professor at the University of Rotterdam. So in the spring of 2014, the University of Kansas actively recruited me as a part of its hiring initiative. So KU offered me a tenured associate professor position in June 2014. Then I relocated my research group to KU in August 2014. At KU, I was teaching chemistry and chemical engineering courses and leading a research team focused on fundamental studies for renewable energy sustainability, and environmental remediations. That is how I joined KU.
Okay. Now, walk me through, how was this case brought up? How did that come to be?
So I was charged 10 felony counts, also called 10 charges. In February 2022, government dropped the 2 charges. Then 80 charges were left to the trial court. The jury of the trial court acquitted 4 of the left 80 charges in April 2022. Judge of the district court acquitted 3 of the left 4 charges in September 2022. Therefore, only 1 charge remaining in September 2022. We appealed to alter the last charge in January 2023. Then in July 2024, which is 3 months ago, the appeal court acquitted the last charge. So on the day of July 11th, 2024, I proved my full innocence and fully exonerated.
So did you get any opportunity, because this has been a big question, did you get any opportunity to talk with KU on the job offer before you were arrested from this other university?
No, I didn't get a chance to talk with KU administration before I was arrested. I responded to one email from KU Vice Provost on June 11th, 2019, to ask me to meet him. I suggested the day of July 1st, 2019, to meet him, but he was not available on that day. He proposed July 8th, 2019, to meet me. I agreed and planned to meet him at his office. However, he canceled the meeting of July 8th. The last scheduled meeting was August 21st, 2019. That was the day I was arrested. Through the legal defense, I understand why the schedule with him was canceled and reset, why I was arrested on the scheduled meeting day August 21st, 2019, and how he was coordinating with some people to set up days for me. His communications on scheduling with me was guided by a couple of people. Clearly, there is a co-prosecution team.
It's a jarring experience. And Hong, what was that like when you heard that Franklin was being arrested?
It was frightening. It was like, I really had to say, it's almost like you have been watching TV, all of this happened in the TV, but one of the day, it happened to your real life. You become the same, you become the main character. It was scary.
What made you survive through all of this whole experience? I mean, it's shocking. You know, you go from being a university professor, researcher, just doing your job, and then they came on campus to arrest you, or is that what happened?
So there are probably more than a dozen of FBI came to my house,
your house,
to arrest me. Most of our neighbors come out to say how they took me, put it in their cars. So it's really, really hard for the 5 years fighting. Probably many people heard there are more than 2 or 3 professors who were investigated under China Initiative. They were suicide. Even recently, 3 months ago, there was a professor suicide in the USA. So we fortunately survived. We are a Christian family. Hong and I and our kids are Christian. God give us the strength to fight for justice.
We're going to continue our conversation right after the break. We'll be right back. You're watching Inside Kansas Politics.
Hi, I'm Bob Goodall from Kansas Furniture Mart.
Queen pillow top mattresses, $233. 8-piece living room groups, $888.
Financing for everyone at the original Kansas Furniture Mart.
Performance Tire and Auto is teaming up with Topeka's very own Race Against Breast Cancer. Through the month of October, Performance Tire and Auto is giving away free brake pads with any brake service. Plus, in addition to free brake pads, Performance Tire and Auto will donate 10% of the service to the Race Against Breast Cancer.
Since 1991, we have paid for more than 12,000 mammography services for Northeast Kansans in need. Our goal is to find a cure through early detection.
So together, let's run this race against breast cancer.
If I had to give you the reasons why I chose Washburn, I'd say professors and
facilities, scholarships,
location, opportunity,
recognition, closeness,
inclusión,
ayuda financiera,
careers and internships.
Bienvenidos a Washburn.
Crown Toyota, celebrating 30 years of quality service.
See what sets us apart.
Come experience.
Come experience. Come experience the Crown difference.
Get into a RAV4 now 4.99% for up to 60 months. 2024 truck deals are here. Toyota Tundra, 1.99% for up to 48 months or $2,000 cash back. Tacoma, now 5.99% for up to 72 months. Crown Toyota, 3400 South Iowa, Lawrence, Kansas.
Hi, I'm Bob Goodall from Kansas Furniture Mart. If you struggle getting out of your recliner, come to Kansas Furniture Mart for the largest selection of lift chairs. Come to Kansas Furniture Mart and let us help you get a lift up.
Welcome back to Inside Kansas Politics. I'm Rebecca Chung. Continuing our conversation with former KU professor Franklin Tao, his conviction overturned after being accused of Chinese espionage. And Franklin, I wanted to get to the bottom of why the judge decided that there was lack of evidence in this case.
So during the trial in March and April 2022, judge found out the case was lack of evidence and said in the court, there were significant issues in this case. So judge stated during the sentencing hearing in January 2023, I'm going to quote the judge's words. Quote began, I went into this trial frankly thinking I was going to hear evidence that there was a loss. That's why I denied the defendant's pre-trial motion to dismiss, because I thought, and because the government was telling me, I thought that there was going to be evidence that Dr. Tao obtained money or property by fraud. Quote end. Another quote, quote start. I heard the contrary. I heard that this is a man that is obsessed with his work. He always has been. I heard from his graduate students. I heard even when he was in China, Germany, or wherever he might be, he worked them to death, and he worked himself to death, and he earned his salary at KU. I did not have any conflict of interest in finance. There was no conflict of time commitment. The only difference is the location I was working for KU. It's similar to the difference between on-site and remote work. But my department chair stated that is not an issue at all. But unfortunately, I was wrongfully prosecuted. After all charges were acquitted, KU declined to reinstate me. Every day is just fear and desperation for me.
And of course, so many things changed because a lot of that financial burden too fell on you through this process, right?
Yes, this fight actually brought us an immense financial loss. The total cost of the legal defense is over $2.3 million. And we used up all our savings, took money out of our retirement accounts, borrowed money from our relatives and friends who could help, and raised the fund through GoFundMe. Even after all of that, currently we still owe over $1 million to the law firm. And because this Ronnie prosecution, Franklin lost his career and nearly everything. So I had to work long hours, multiple jobs in different hospitals to keep our family alive. I could not even count how many times I had to work 24 hours straight. How many times I had to pull off highway, try to find the gas station, just take a short nap, or just use cold water to wash my face to stay awake. Sometimes I feel so desperate. I cried in my car after work and questioning why this was happening to Franklin and our family. Then I had to wipe away my tears. I had to tell myself to stay strong for my husband, my kids, and my family.
Thank you both. When we come back, we have Ron Barrett joining us. He's playing a pivotal role in trying to get Tao reinstated. We'll be right back. You're watching Inside Kansas Politics.
Since 1942, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas has been supporting Kansans with healthcare needs throughout their biggest life moments. A Medicare Advantage plan from Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas can help you in your next big moment. With $0 premiums, vision, dental, and hearing coverage, prescription drug benefits, and a PPO network, all backed by a customer service team you can trust. We'll be there for you because we were likely there for you on the day you were born. There for your first day. There for your scares and celebrations. And we're here for you now. One thing that has stayed constant is our coverage for Kansans. Switch to a Medicare Advantage plan from Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas today. Call 785-546-6238 or visit bcbsks.com/choose-MA.
This deal's so good, it'll give you chills. Energy-efficient Train AC units at a savings of up to 35%. It's the Blue Dot year-end closeout. No interest until 2030, no money down, and a 10-year parts and labor warranty. Schedule today.
It's amazing how quickly life can change. But through it all, your Renewal by Andersen windows remain the same. Renewal by Andersen windows, built for life. Save $350 on windows and $500 on patio doors with free installation, plus no interest and no payments for 12 months.
27 News leads with over 29 hours of original local programming per week. Hours more than our competitor, including shows like K-Nation and Inside Kansas Politics. More news, more weather, more sports. 27 News, working for you.
Join our conversation on Facebook.
Welcome back to Inside Kansas Politics. I'm Rebecca Chun. KU has yet to reinstate Franklin Tao after his years-long battle in court. We reached out to the university, but we have not yet heard back. Right now, a group of university professors is fighting for his reinstatement. And joining us now is Ron Barrett. He's the co-chair of the university's AAUP committee. And Ron, how did the academic community respond to all of this after that last charge was acquitted?
Well, we were horrified to begin with that one ethnicity of researchers would primarily be targeted by the Trump administration and their China initiative. When Professor Tao was exonerated, of course, we thought that the University of Kansas administration would immediately do the right thing and reinstate him. We recommended to them that they reinstate him immediately and without fanfare, just give him his job back because he had been declared innocent. Unfortunately, the administration chose not to.
And there are other cases similar to this one, right? Did their universities reinstate them when they lost their job?
Yeah, indeed. So there was a case in Tennessee where a professor was charged under the China initiative, pretty much the same way. When the courts exonerated that professor, the university saw the light. They realized that getting the university's name dragged through the mud would be a bad thing. And unfortunately, the University of Kansas has decided to prolong this agony, and they have not reinstated him. So there's precedent for reinstatement, but KU administration has chosen not to, sadly.
What have those discussions been like? And Hong, you can weigh in here too, maybe if you have insight into this. But Ron, what were those discussions like?
Right. So myself and my co-chair from Emporia State, Professor Rob Catlett, we met with university officials, and we laid out what we saw as clear violations of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. It's a violation of Title VI of the Civil Rights Act, which bars discrimination against individuals from of other nationalities of a given ethnic origin. We also took note that the 10th Circuit Court has declared tenure to be a property right, and they have violated his property rights, which is a violation of his Fifth Amendment rights. They have done so without due process, and it's a taking of private property without due process, which is a violation of the 14th Amendment rights. So there's violations that we see as an organization that the university administration has engaged in over and over and over again, and sadly, they just decide not to do the right thing, and it's in many ways an ethical failing of the university.
And Hong, what are your thoughts on this? You know, it's been years that you've been trying to fight this. To hear that the university is not even looking in that direction, what is that like for you?
I completely agree with Ron. I think the university should reinstate Franklin after the charge completely either dropped or acquitted, and he approved his innocence. He works nearly his, I think, most hardworking professor in his department. No matter where he works, he's always the most hardworking person. I think he dedicated himself, I think the university really mistreated him, treated him unfairly. I clearly see this from my point of view. I see this as a discrimination. I think my husband deserves a better and fair treatment.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. You're watching Inside Kansas Politics.
Together with Washburn University, we are proud to be back with another year of Everything Woman,
a 27 news series highlighting extraordinary women in our communities.
Like a woman starting a business to celebrate people of all abilities.
Or a woman dedicated to serving children for more than 30 years.
Or a woman operating her own electrical business.
Everyday women with their own unique stories.
To nominate someone, go to ksnt.com and click on Everything Woman.
Sponsored by Sharp Honda, Topeka ER and Hospital, and Washburn University.
It seems that everyone is pretty important to the health of everyone else these days. We try to separate, but life has a way of catching up to us, and pretty soon we're in the swim again. It would help if everyone had access to health care. That's why there's a Grace Med, to be a medical home for everyone, a place where you can get just about every kind of health care that everyone needs, regardless of your ability to pay, because everyone deserves the kind of hope that only good health can bring. Grace Med, hope care for everyone.
I've been looking for something that would be able to make the shingles last longer. I'm looking forward to being able to have extra years without having to replace them. I would definitely recommend RoofMax again, and I've already recommended them to friends and neighbors.
Vanderbilt's fall clearance event is happening now. Get all-day comfort with these Durango Rebel boots. Your choice, $119.99. FinTech thermal-lined hoodie. Closeout price, $19.99. Save $75 on Western work boots from Irish Setter, $99.99. Great buy on Wrangler Snap Western flannel shirt, starting at $21.99.
Your work boots center, Vanderbilt.
Honoring those who served with a special presentation, Veterans Voices. Hear tales of days past and see the impact veterans are having in our communities. Veterans Voices, November 4th at 6:30. Sponsored by these fine sponsors.
We are back continuing our conversation now with Franklin Tao and Ron Barrett, who reps a group of university professors. He's weighing in. And I wanted to also ask, what is the current status of this request for reinstatement with the university and the impact that this could potentially have on the university if things may not go your way?
Sure. Well, the current state is, I believe, that the administration is requesting some sort of arbitration or mediation, something like that. And it's very unusual because it's not written into any of our university senate or faculty senate rules and regulations. They are outside of many of the rules that they're supposed to stick to. As far as the impact to the university, and I would argue the state of Kansas, it's rather profound because word is out in the Asian community that the University of Kansas in particular and the state of Kansas in general is hostile to Asian researchers. And I've had quite a number of remarks. I don't even work in chemical engineering. I work in aerospace engineering, and I've had quite a few colleagues say, no, I don't really want to come to KU because the conditions are not right now.
And before we have Franklin close out with a summary, I wanted to go to you, Hong. Tell me a little bit about the impact that this has had on your kids, just this whole experience.
Yeah, I deeply regret, how this impact my kids. All this began on the first of the high school. They were actually, followed by the drone. The FBI used it to surveil us from the moment they got into the car until the moment they got out at the curbside. And my son often cried in his room. Our daughter had to see a psychologist. And last year, before they start college, this is my son said to me, Mom, don't worry about us. We are going to start our new life in college. We are going to be fine. There were times before. Both of us thought about suicide. My heart just breaks whenever I thought about how much this impacts our kids, and also deeply worry about the long-term harm to them.
And Franklin, I wanted to have you give some closing remarks.
I want to first brief what I did in the last 5 years. Even every day is fear and desperation. I still spend probably 15, 16 hours doing research. My students was dismissed. They left results to me. I analyzed results. I summarize them, then wrote the paper, get them published. I published 30 papers. Many of them are in the top tier journals, including Science, Nature, Catalysis. I think I still made a significant contribution to KU, even in the last few years. I was in the ordeal. So the core fund that I did all the work in spring and the summer 2019 for KU and satisfied the KU, DOE, and NSF. I worked to death for KU, and I pushed my students, postdoc, to work to death. I was one of the most productive professors at my department. I didn't have any conflict of interest in finance. There was no conflict of time commitment. The location I was working for KU is not an issue. I was wrongfully prosecuted. None of the 10 charges should have brought up at the first place. I think the university should think about how I was wrongfully prosecuted. The legal defense costs $2.3 million. Currently, we still have a debt of $1.05 million to be paid to the law firm after we borrowed from all relatives, friends, and collected donations. My position should be reinstated immediately. Otherwise, I will keep fighting. Unfortunately, the fighting is going to expose how the university has unfairly targeted one of its professors, me, and how they violated the numerous federal and state laws. Again, the university needed to seriously take a look at its conduct during the course of the wrongful prosecution before I was arrested and after I was arrested. The university must understand the legal liabilities it is exposed to. I'm a hard worker. I love America. I love the university. I just think this is really the best chance for the university to restore its reputation. I can certainly teach, do research, do the best science. I just published one paper in Science. It was accepted last week with the name of University of Kansas, which is very, very exceptional. I really hope KU do the right thing to reinstate my job. I can continuously contribute to KU. Thank you.
Thank you all again for joining us today. And that was your look inside Kansas politics. We'll see you next Sunday right here on 27 KSNT at 10:30 a.m. Have a good day.